That's it. Request the box then. Can Jen have the box? Jen. Sorry, Jen. Hiya, Jen.
Now, I don't normally pop in on here, but I thought I might want to cheer all your viewers up on this lovely Monday morning. I have a good friend on here who I've been working with for quite a while, and they're called Pip Devil. Now, they do quite a lot of posts calling people out.
Yeah.
And, benefit fraud, things like that.
Yeah.
They've done a post this morning about people who celebrate their autism diagnosis.
Oh.
And the very first clip that they have used is E.
Oh.
It's absolutely hilarious. He's going to be fuming when he sees this because they've got quite a big reach. They are working with a lot of television companies at the moment. No, my friend Pip Devil. They are working with quite a lot of television companies and radio shows at the moment, highlighting the fraud with benefits and Pip in particular. So yeah, they've gone with E. How good is that?
I think, to be honest, the worst thing that they could have done, we're talking about Elphaba, guys, the worst thing that they could have done is come on live and announce that, because now people are going to be on it. Do you know what I mean? And people aren't going to let go the fact that they'll want to see evidence and things like that.
I'm referring to my friend, not E. Just for clarification, I'm not being transphobic because I'm not transphobic. I have trans friends, but it's the whole fake diagnosis that didn't actually happen. It was the preliminary assessment before the referral. And I have an SEM background. I know how these things work. I've worked with educational psychologists in the past. Yeah, for 20 odd years. I know how this works.
So what are you thinking then? So you don't think they had an assessment?
Absolutely not. They've had the preliminary questionnaire filled in.
Just explain what that is.
Basically, once you're referred for an autism diagnosis, what they will do from the GP is you will fill out a form verbally.
Yeah.
It's done verbally now over the telephone. Mm-hmm. And if you checklist off so many of these questions, you will then be put forward for the official autism diagnosis. And this is not just one assessment. It's multiple assessments, a lot of face-to-face, because body language is also very, very important as well. Yeah. I do understand that things are different in different areas, but there is absolutely no way that 1 2-hour phone call would give E an autism diagnosis. Right. Not off a 2-hour one. No. Because if so, why are the waiting lists so huge for autism and ADHD diagnoses? If it can be done in 2 hours, then there shouldn't be a wait list. Nowhere near as big as what it is. Right. Now, we've got to be very careful, because I'm not saying that he's not on the spectrum. He's not on the spectrum, sorry. But the issue with autism and ADHD is that it is such a huge umbrella of spectrum. And if you were to actually go into it and read through it, you would probably say that the majority of people are on the spectrum. Mm-hmm. We all have our little quirks.
Guys, can I just say, she's saying E, as in the letter E.
Not he.
Not
I'm saying E.
She's saying E, the letter E, not he. Otherwise,
it's my accent.
She's saying E, the letter E. I just want to say that otherwise.
Yeah, for clarification, I'm not being transphobic.
Let's say E, okay? So chill out in the comments, guys. I know what. Just saying.
From the alphabet. So I think the thing is it's a long-winded process. It is really a long-winded process. And like I'm saying, I'm not saying that Elphaba, let's do this properly.
Yeah.
But I think they set themselves up for this backlash because of the way that they address things. It's like they go straight for the jugular. Right, this is it. It's definitely that. Blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the case. And I don't understand either why sharing something so personal like that has been done so publicly.
Thank you, Jodie.
That's the other issue. It's a personal medical issue. Why would you want to share that with thousands and thousands and thousands of people? That is something that's personal. You know
why? Do you know why, Jen? The reason why they have is because they now have an excuse for the behaviour over the years, and it's like icing on the FYP that she said, well, you know, when I did that autism live, you know, she did the Autism Got Talent. When I did that, I did have autism, so I didn't really cheat it, did I? Do you know what I mean? It's purely going to be used as an excuse to for the bad behaviour when they have crash outs, when they do this, when they do that, and that's why they were so excited, because it's like Jen, it said get out of jail free card now. That's what they're gonna.
The other thing that I did pick up on is that it was a phone call, and then halfway through, even though I described the lady that was doing the assessment as Russian or some sort of Eastern European, Elphaba said she noticed that I was playing with my hair. How can you do that from a telephone call? There's so many things where was it a link where you were doing a video call? Was it a phone call? Which one was it?
People are really super invested in all of this. And get that. Let me tell you why, guys, because it's put on the app. And Elphaba knows this. Elphaba knows that it's going to, even though they're only 22 or however old they are, they know how social media works. They're very clued up with social media. And no, I'm not going to move on. It's your girl, Leanne. Thank you. If you don't like it, scroll out and then come back. So they know how social media works. They know that it's going to have this effect. Okay, guys. So it's not that, you know, people are Karens or whatever else. It's just the fact that it's put all over the app. So people want to speak about it, you know?
I think that there is some differentiation, between having autism and just genuinely being socially unaware, and then being a shitty human. There's a huge difference between that, and I think that's what Elphaba is trying to make people think, that there's a huge difference, and it's not being a shitty human, shitty behaviour and things like that, that it is part of their condition. And it's yeah, you're right, it's a get out of jail free card. But from my experience, I've worked with a lot of people with autism and lots of other medical conditions. I've never seen anyone behave like that.
Yeah, like I say, it's such a big umbrella in it, and I'm not here to discuss whether they have or whether they haven't.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be fair on me to do that, because I don't know. I'm not educated enough. I'm not a specialist. I don't know, you know. But the reason I think that they were so excited that they said they had this diagnosis is because they're going to use it as a weapon, you know, the same way that they use being trans as a weapon. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sorry, guys, come for me if you want, but they do use it. It's all to be used as weapons.
Exactly that. It is exactly that. And then to go out later as well, and with everything that was sort of flagged up that they don't like, you know, the loud noises, the lights and things like that, it's just a complete contradiction in terms, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Right, drop down now. Have a lovely day, everybody.
Please don't drop down. Please don't drop down. I just think that what you're saying is quite damaging towards the autistic community in general. Not all autistic people act the same. So if you've never worked with
my daughter's
autistic people, my son's autistic too, Jen. Just because you've not worked with people who present in the exact same way as Elphaba might be presenting, it doesn't make the diagnosis any less valid. because as you'll know, with having an autistic child, autism comes in many forms. Like in my son's class at school, he's in an autistic base. All of the children are wildly different. None of them are the same. None of them, have the same needs and stuff. And I just found what you were saying to be quite degrading to the autistic community in general.
For clarification, I did say that it's such a broad spectrum, and I'm not saying that Elphaba doesn't have it. For clarification, I did say that, but it's just such a huge umbrella is the autism and ADHD. I mean, seriously, my degree's around this. Honestly, it's. I'm not saying that they don't have it. What I'm saying is we're going back to, is it a weaponizing thing now?
I don't know. It was a bit distasteful when you kind of celebrated the fact that the PIP person has used Elphaba as the first person that they're calling out on the page for, like, if you can imagine being an adult and struggling all your life and then finally getting diagnosed with autism. And I'm similar. I'm 40 next month, and I was diagnosed 3 years ago with ADHD. And I was like, this is why I felt like a weirdo all my life. And if someone wants to celebrate that they've got that, then let them have it. Like, you don't need to celebrate because someone's put it up on a page and said that they've been diagnosed. Just let them have the.
I understand the happiness and I understand that feeling of peace. However, I don't think it has been done for that reason. I think it's been done more for the reason of shove it all in your faces. I am basically, you can't touch me, I think there has to be, there's a huge difference in the reasoning as to why somebody would celebrate that. And for the majority of people, I will be absolutely over the moon. Okay? It's brilliant. I know when I got my diagnosis, it was absolutely fantastic. It explains a lot of my behaviours.
Surely you can relate to Elphaba feeling the same then. Surely you can relate to
I'm
Elphaba.
sorry, I do. Who's banking? Miss Spaghetti, I'm not saying, I'm sorry, Kimmy, I'm not saying this because I've got a dislike for Elphaba or anything, right? Because when Elphaba's in the right, I do say, I agree with them. But I do feel like that when she did say this, when she come on the internet and said that, it was, and I can't tell how, I can't tell people how to react, but I do agree that it is going to be used as some kind of weapon to kind of like, if they do something wrong, well, it's because I've got this and I've got that and I've got to stand by that, Miss B, do you know what I mean? And I'm not educated enough on this, but I do understand where people are coming from with it because, you get so many parents that have got children that have got autism, people.
Can I just pull up a really great comment that's just come up? And I'm going to quote it, so please don't come for me for being trans, whatever, phobia. He said, and this is, I'm quoting, he said, "I've won." Having a diagnosis is not a competition. And for most people, they are absolutely devastated to get that diagnosis. Most parents are absolutely devastated to get that diagnosis. But to say it as though it's a competition, it just doesn't sit right with me at all. It's not a competition.
And I get that people react to things differently. I get that. I do get that. Like some people are relieved, some people cry, some people laugh. But for me, it was just like, and the way that she was saying and the things that she was saying, for me, it's just going to be like, oh, okay, this is the reason why I've done everything that I've done. This is the reason why. Do you know what I mean, Miss B? And that's just my opinion on it. But I get where you're coming from as well. I 100% get where you're coming from.
I just hope it doesn't damage the autism community.
I don't think it's going to damage
ADHD. I just hope that people aren't hurt by it. That's what bothers me.
I don't think it's going to damage the community. Do you, Miss B?
I don't think it will. I mean, I find if anybody kind of does something really bad and then tries to pass it off as, oh, it's just my this or my that making me do it, like, that in itself can be damaging, but it depends. You never know. Elphaba might surprise everybody.
I don't think I'm causing damage. I'm trying to speak up for people that, a lot of people with autism don't have a voice and, because they can't, because they're non-verbal. It's just about, it's just awful. It just doesn't sit with me at the moment. There's something that just doesn't sit with me.
And you're allowed to have that opinion, by the way. That's what, TikTok's all about, people having opinions.
And my gut just doesn't sit right with me. But it is one of those things. I did actually go back to my friend and say, look, this person's very controversial. Just be very careful. You've picked the one here that...
I mean, they've definitely picked a good person to post videos of to get views and interaction, I'll tell you that. So that,
Yeah.
But whether or not I'd make a post about someone celebrating their autism diagnosis, I don't think I would, because I don't think it's anything to do with me.
There is that as well, yeah, absolutely. I just saw it this morning and thought, oh my God, of all the people.
Who is that page and what is it about?
Basically, they tend to use it for highlighting with statistical data about people who are scamming fraudulently. They've also touched on a few cases where I think it's been Munchausen's by proxy for fraud against DLA that have been found guilty at court as well.
Surely, do you know these people?
I'm not judging us all, believe me. I do not need to do research.
Do you know these people that do the assessments? They know if someone's pulling the wool over their eyes, right? So...
The assessments for what? For PIP or for...
No, I'm just saying, do you know when someone has an assessment done, right, and they give that person a diagnosis, they do this day in, day out, so they would know if somebody genuinely had it or somebody didn't.
Yes,
yeah, so,
absolutely.
So if Elphaba genuinely has that diagnosis and they are entitled to whatever comes off the back of that, I don't know how the benefits or whatever works off the back of that, I don't know. Then if they have got that, then surely it's only what anybody else is entitled to.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely, I agree with you.
You agree with that, Miss B?
I think
100% agree.
Should I worry about my own life? Oh gosh, great stuff. Lovely comments. Thank you.
Hang on, Jen. Sorry, darling.
I'm getting some stick today.
I know, it's people's opinions though, darling. Unfortunately, when you jump in a box and we have opinions, Jan,
I'm not judgmental.
Jan, you're over talking me. Sorry, darling. Yeah, so people are entitled to have opinions back. But I just wanted to hear what Miss Bagat had to say.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like the PIP assessors, that they do that day in, day out. And I think that if someone's trying to pull a fast one, they're going to be onto it. And it is really hard to get PIP.
Yes.
It is very hard. But I think they're onto it. And I think the amount of people that get PIP that maybe shouldn't is really, really low.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as Elphaba mentioned PIP, because I don't watch Elphaba, I'm not going to lie. Has she actually said that she's applying for it, or we just...
I haven't a clue, but can I just mention for the comments, having just been through the process, because my daughter's brain injured. She has a brain injury, and I've just having to do that transfer over right now. Someone's just mentioned in the comments that they have very, very basic training to the PIP assessors. Let me tell you something. When we had our assessment, they have different levels of assessors. Now, some of them are medically trained, and so you could, for example, get a physiotherapist, or you could get a psychiatrist, or you could get somebody a bit further higher up, more medically qualified. That is what we had, because her case is so complex, because a blood clot ruptured in her brain, and because she's got so many other medical issues because of it, including the autism, including problems with the legs and things like that, that we had to have one of the more higher qualified assessors. And even still, that was a 2-hour assessment, and this is not the end of it either, which they do ask a lot of the same questions in different ways as well. They do try and trip you up. It is an incredibly difficult process to go through. It's not easy. It's not a case if you put in for PIP and you just get it. It's tough stuff. You've got to be backed up with a lot of medical evidence. And in my case, we had 16 years worth of medical evidence. And I don't feel confident for her. Yeah. So if I've got a brain injured child and I don't feel confident.
I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
It is just, she had a blood clot. It went to her brain. It ruptured. She's got brain damage. So it is what it is. But I do not feel confident. And I'd love to know where these people think that PIP is such an easy benefit to get, because it isn't. It isn't at all. Okay. Just to clarify, sorry.
Okay, darling. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Miss Bagat?
There isn't, apart from the fact I'm not actually condescending.
I'm Miss Bagat. Trying to steal my identity, Jen. My name is Jen, though.
Guys, lighten up in the comments, please, guys. Go on, Miss Bagat.
I think I remember hearing something about, like, with regards to being medically qualified. Like, you don't need to be medically qualified in anything with regards to the condition that the PIP assessor is going to be trying to identify. So, like, you could have a medical background in, I don't know, phlebotomy, and be assessing someone for something completely nothing to do with it. So they don't necessarily put someone who's trained in that specific area as your assessor anyway.
It just doesn't add up, does it? You know, surely you would put somebody with a brain injury like my child with someone who knows about brain injuries, you know, and a psychiatrist with somebody that perhaps has mental health problems. You know, it would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, if Elphaba does end up getting PIP, then I think that what everyone should do is just accept the fact that Elphaba's gone to the assessor and they've got PIP.
Absolutely.
And that's it. And don't consume your life with it, because it's.
Do you think, Miss Big?
It's got ADHD. Just remind me that when it says struggles with social cues, I've actually got ADHD. There you go.
Miss B, do you think people are way too super invested in everybody's lives on social media?
Yeah, I think so, and I've been there myself. Like, you know, I've been in that place, but I think sometimes you can end up like.
I'm not talking about you, Jen, by the way. I'm just talking in general.
Yeah, some people can end up just getting way too involved, and sometimes like to their own detriment as well, because it can't be good for you to be like so hyper focused on a person.
And we're not speaking about Jenny here, by the way. So I'm just
in general, and probably me in the past. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been there myself. You get super invested, don't you? However, I've got to say, if you do get controversial characters on TikTok, right, that do get a lot of, you know, they get a lot of views, they get a lot of FYP coverage, and they're putting their personal life out there, people are going to bite at it in May. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know what it's like, Miss B, right? When I could come on here and say something, and then, you know, people are going to hold lives about it, and they're going to pick it apart, and they're going to, do you know what I mean? It's the way TikTok is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be talked about, but I think there's sometimes like a difference between just talking about something and then just going on with your little merry day, and then there's making an entire page and posting videos and digging into the medical history and stuff like that. Like, there's just have a little chat about it, and then that's it. Go make a coffee. And
I agree there. And this, again, Jen, I've just got to say, this isn't directed at anybody. We're just talking about TikTok in general.
I've got lots of people wanting to question my diagnosis.
Yeah,
I think it's just the app, innit? So,
hello, I mean, if you're going to question someone else's, then you have to expect it back, unfortunately.
Like I said, I'm not saying that he has not got it. In fact, he probably likely has, with a few other conditions combined, if I'm going to be honest. I think there's more. I think he has actually got more. I'm not going after people on PIP whatsoever. Please just clarify that.
Does he know? Has he found out there's an injection today?
Sorry, darling.
Liza, do you know you're in the box, darling? She doesn't know she's in the box. Everybody follow Bad Lisa, please, guys, while she's in the box. Hello, Jane.
Right, I'm going to drop down because I've got lots to do. Have a lovely day, everybody.
Okay, bye. Thank you for joining, Jane.
Bye.
Interesting conversation this morning.
Can I be honest? When she joined the box and she said she had something to make us all smile and be happy, I was like, yay. And then it was about Elphaba. I was like, oh, okay. This is going to turn south very fast.
Yeah. I actually, going back in the conversation, I tried to add in, because sometimes, Miss Red, when people do get their diagnosis, it's such a relief that they do celebrate it. They're absolutely over the moon, because for years they've been told they've had something else, or they've had another mental health condition. So when some people say, oh no, it's ADHD or autism, they're actually that relieved. They're over the moon to get that diagnosis. You know, which is, it sounds a bit...
That, Jane.
There they are. I was looking for this person who you've just put in the box because they were asking to join the box and they couldn't remember the name. But they're here now anyway. Right, I'm going to jump down now. Thank you for letting me. Thank you for letting me.
Thank you, Miss Jane.
Hi, sorry, I didn't realise I was on private, but I just wanted to clarify something. So I've just left working for the DWP doing PIP assessments, and I'm an RGM with 30 odd years experience, and there are different agencies, just to clarify, who do PIP assessments. So the one that I was working for is a very well known one, it's the biggest one, so there are lots of different agencies, so they may vary in terms of what sort of background you need. But the company I work for sounds a bit like Tupita, without saying the name. You have to be medically trained, and in that respect, it has to be an OT, a physio, a doctor, a nurse. Midwives, pharmacists can't do this role. And I left because it is a impossible job. It is literally impossible. The training is very strict. It's 6 weeks in-house face-to-face training. Yeah. And I was told, you close your laptop at 5 p.m. You don't open it before 9. I was doing 10-hour days, 5 days a week. It is impossible. So like I say, I'm a nurse and I left. I was told to take my nursing head off. These are claimants. These are not patients. And I struggled with that. And I heard a lot of very sad, and I sort of couldn't continue with the role because the reports I were writing, I was told how to write things basically. My experience, if you've got anything mental health, then you've got a better chance. It's about how the condition affects you on a day-to-day basis, not about, so you could have a patient who, for example, had cancer, colostomies, etc. They won't get it. If they can stir a pot sitting down, you will not get PIP. If you have a mental health condition that affects your ability to interact, then you've got a chance of getting it. So for me, it didn't sit right. And I left. It's impossible job. And anybody who's applying for it, it's a very difficult process. And let me tell you, it's going to get harder. There's lots of things in place that they're going to make it so much difficult to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sort of come in. When I heard the PIP assessment, my ears pricked up because I left it. It was making me mentally unwell. First and foremost, I'm a nurse. I'll always be a nurse. Fortunately, I've left the NHS and I've got my own sort of business, but I still work in the NHS. But I do, it's heartbreaking to listen to some of the stories. And I knew that those people I was speaking to are not going to get it. And it's very sad, really. So that was just all. Just wanted to jump up and have my little 10 pence worth.
Okay, thank you very much, my darling, for joining the bar.
You're very welcome. Lovely to see you from another fella, Brummy. Bye-bye.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
Right, guys, I'm not going to have any more people in the box about this because I just wanted to chill live and I didn't really want it to be about Elphaba today. Oh, hello, Tom. No
Hi, you all right?
Guys. No more boxes, please. Right. Yeah, put Tom back in the box, guys. We'll put Tom back in, but I don't want to have this whole debate about Elphaba. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, darling. Right, where's Tom?
Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hi. I just wanted to quickly give you 2 minutes. I just wanted you to allow me for 2 minutes. So, firstly, this is very controversial and it's just my own opinion.
Absolutely.
So, I was diagnosed with autism back in 2015. Now, for me personally, obviously I am high functioning, but I do have my traits and stuff like that and my struggles. Okay. For me, at the moment, this is just my personal opinion, I think the diagnosing for autism needs to be more rigorous in terms of, so when I was diagnosed in 2015, I had loads of clinical assessments and behavioural observations and stuff like that. But now, so because it's been longer than 10 years, they reckon to have another assessment because diagnoses can change over the years. So it doesn't mean it's always going to be autism. It can turn into something else. So when I was retested last year, believe it or not, it was just an hour on the phone with a psychiatrist. And let me tell you, if I wasn't diagnosed in 2015, I could have easily winged having autism over that phone with the psychiatrist, because all it is less than an hour interview and you're just answering questions. And believe it or not, once you go with the GP and you go for a right to choose, then you can get seen within like 3 months. On a right to choose through your GP. So yeah, I do think when it comes to diagnosing autism, I think the process needs to be more rigorous because, like I say, you can easily lie about having autism if you answer the correct questions correctly, and that's just the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought that these people that do assess, they would know, they would pick up on characteristics. I think it's like weird how people have been doing it for so many years and they're trained to, that someone could actually fool them. It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, literally, I was on the phone for literally 50 minutes on a FaceTime call. Yeah. And honestly, I could have just made up answers to them questions, and I would have got diagnosed, and that's just the honest truth.
Yeah, because I suppose we've got Google now, and if you Google symptoms,
of course. Yeah,
it's all there for Googling it. You can literally sometimes you don't need to go to doctors anymore. Just Google it, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm taking this. Do you get where I'm coming from? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you were to Google symptoms, and you could just play on that quite easily. Like I say, right to choose through the GP. Mine only took 3 months. Some people it could take up to 12 months. Don't get me wrong; it depends on what area you live in. But yeah, it was so quick for me, and mine was just. Yeah, like I say, I could have made it up if I wanted to, but yeah.
People are asking, Tom, what's right to choose?
So right to choose is where you go to the GP and you get to choose. So right to choose opens up a wider like psychiatrists, people like in different areas. I can't explain what right to choose is. It gives you more options for different places. To get diagnosed, basically. Yeah. So if I was to just stick to the Crewe area, it could take several years because I was waiting 8 years last time. Prior to 2015, I was waiting 8 years to get that diagnosis. But right to choose is it's so much quicker.
Right, okay. You choose to refer to different providers.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay, Tom, thank you for joining the box, darling.
No worries.
You learn something new every day with these boxes, because I've learned a bit today. I'm not very educated on autism and how assessing works and things like that. So please, guys, don't think I'm being ignorant to anything. I'm just opening my boxes for people to come in and have opinions. So.
And to Elphaba, it's not something to be celebrated, by the way, for a diagnosis. It's hard enough as it is. You don't celebrate having autism, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, some people in the comments, some people said that when they got diagnosed, they was happy, they celebrated. So I'm not going to sit here and, No,
I know.
Whether they've got it or not, because it wouldn't be fair for me to do that. But yeah, I just felt like personally it was, it feels like a bit of a get out of jail free card. But if they have genuinely got it, it can explain why sometimes their behaviour is the way that it is. But I don't know.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Thank you for joining the box.
No worries. Thank you, Red. Bye. Bye.
Well, that went well again, didn't it, guys? Oh, guys, it won't let me put my box small. That's as small as I can get it. Thank you, Aldi. Yeah, guys, I apologise. I will do some reading on all of this because I'm not educated enough with all this stuff.